I, 24F, have been working at my job for a year and a half. I do a good job, my reviews have all been good. Except for how I dress. This is my first corporate job. I put it in quotes because it's not really your average desk job. It's a sales office, we sell credit card machines. It's a company made up of 50 people, it's a very laid-back office environment. I am the receptionist. And part of the marketing team. And I do tech support. And I do office upkeep. I'm including this to show that I do a lot there. I don't just sit at the front desk and smile at people and transfer calls. We do not have customers come into the office, the only people that come in that are not part of the staff is the occasional interviewee. The dress code is jean casual. I signed a paper saying jeans and a nice top is the dress code. When I first got the job I felt like I was overdressing. I would wear slacks and a blouse, or a dress, or a pencil skirt and a button-up. You get the point. Business wear is not my style whatsoever. I'm an alt girly. But I know a job is a job and I sucked it up and bought clothes that were professional looking. But as I continued working I noticed everyone dressing extremely casual. I'm talking ripped jeans, leggings, slides, graphic tees, baseball caps, hoodies. As I continued working I realized that some of my job duties were pretty physical. Sometimes I have to go into the bathroom to change the soap. If you've ever had to do that, you know sometimes that means literally laying on the bathroom floor under the sink to twist the bottle on, or do major cleaning where I would be getting dirty. Wearing a dress or a satin blouse was not it. So I slowly started dressing slightly down. Jeans that are not ripped, a nice top, not a t-shirt, and sandals or a clean white pair of slip-on Vans. Even that was more put together than 90% of the staff. Plus I was much more comfortable and confident. I am the youngest employee, I feel like I still dress appropriately and I follow the dress code that was described when I accepted the job. The executive assistant Linda, 64F, has taken a liking to me and has helped me be more professional with the way I interact with the CEO and things like that. She typically wears something like tights, ballet or the pointy flats, and a blouse or sweater, but she's 64 so the blouses are well. Older lady longer blouses. You get the picture. She did my first review and said I was doing great. Later in the week she pulled me in and told me that the CEO wants me to dress better. I was still new and trying to make a good impression so I again bought some clothing that I felt were a little nicer but decided to stick to more of my style and colors that I liked. Since everyone else seemed to dress how they wanted to with no issue I felt like I would be able to do that too while still maintaining a professional look. Well, I guess not. Something is always wrong with how I dress but they always beat around the bush and don't tell me what they don't like. It's always so hush hush. I don't wear leggings, I don't wear ripped jeans, I come with my hair done, jewelry. It's business casual but like I said I'm a little alt so my outfits are black or sometimes patterned. I wear silver jewelry, I have a nose ring, that they said was fine. I even asked if they wanted me to change it to a stud and they said no it was okay. My tattoos are covered up. My hair is not an unnatural color. I don't wear like heavy alt makeup. But I'm not a preppy blonde clean girl like their last receptionist. I had my 1-year review. Again, they said everything was great except your dress isn't quite where we want it to be yet. At this point, I was fed up because I was really trying and I told them you guys tell me his every review, I bought a whole new wardrobe of business casual clothing even though the described dress code is jean casual. I feel like I dress more businesslike than everyone else. I don't get what I'm doing wrong. Mind you this was my 1-year review and was fully expecting a raise. They've added many more job duties than what I was originally hired for. I didn't even get a $0.50 raise. I said that I have already spent a substantial amount of money on clothing to wear at this job, I can't keep on buying different clothes for this job. They do a thing around Christmas where the higher-ups have to get their subordinates a Christmas gift. My higher-ups are the executive assistant, the sales manager, the marketing manager and the IT manager. I think they all assumed the others would get me something but none of them did. I really did not care about that at all. 2 weeks ago the executive assistant brought up the Christmas gift, she realized no one got my anything. She said that as a late Christmas gift, she wanted to get me some clothes for work. I felt pressured and in a sort of uncomfortable position so I just agreed. She suggested just ordering stuff online. I told her Shein was cheap and had a lot of variety. Please don't come at me for supporting Shein. I know it's terrible, I was fully expecting her to explain the kinds of clothing they were looking for and then I would be able to have some say so and like the color at least. But no. She basically had me sit there. She picked out different tops. They were all very older lady looking and colors and prints that I would never ever choose for myself. Floral blouses, bright orange, bright yellow. One of the tops came in a leopard print. I said oh I like leopard, I can wear that with the black slacks I have. But no. I had to get the white with blue flower print. She got me gold jewelry. Like I said, I wear silver, and shoes with heels, and the pointy E-flats. I was getting frustrated so I just let it happen. The clothes came in. And I was upset. I felt like they just don't like my style. I wore one full outfit she got me and I just looked like her. Not an outfit a 24-year-old would wear. I decided to mix in the stuff that she got me with some of my own stuff. Yesterday I wore a pair of boot-cut jeans, a nice black long-sleeve shirt, the gold jewelry and a pair of heels that she got me. I honestly thought I looked very nice. In the middle of the day she pulled me in and said that she was getting comments about my jeans from one of the male higher-ups. The jeans had no back pockets, but they were 100% denim. I was wearing heels, so I guess that accentuated my legs. She told me that someone was saying that I needed to wear a top that covered my butt if I was going to wear jeggings. I was having a rough day and I finally snapped a little. I said I felt like I was getting unfairly targeted about how I dress. I told her that I follow the dress code as described. The pants I was wearing were no jeggings. I wear the things they want me to wear, but the other women I work with continue to come in wearing leggings without their butt covered, tops with cleavage, graphic t-shirts, sweatpants, tight jeans, jogger shorts. I come in dressed in business casual even though the dress code is jean casual and there is still something wrong with my outfit almost every day. I would understand it if I was wearing clothing that was inappropriate, but that's not the case. I also said I'm starting to feel uncomfortable that everyone has something to say about how I look. I am the youngest woman here and I feel like they think they can push me around about things that don't affect my job performance. I walked out because I was sick of being insulted about how I dressed and made to feel insecure. I have a meeting with her and the CEO tomorrow about it. Now I'm nervous that I'm going to get in trouble. Is this situation weird? Am I not seeing something? Or is this unreasonable and borderline workplace harassment? Oop, yeah. It's confusing. All the saleswomen dress like bums. I wear a form-fitting turtleneck and a knee-length skirt with my hair pinned up. It's inappropriate. I look online for young women, business casual outfit ideas and follow that and there is still an issue. I don't get it. Oop, the EA has been communicating most of the issues to me. The customer service manager also said something to me when I wore a form-fitting black turtleneck saying others thought it was too tight. I have to do YouTube videos for the company too. I wore a green scoop neck blouse, no cleavage, the shot was waist up, and has 3 rings on and a silver necklace. The CEO looked at the footage after we filmed and said that I looked chubby, I'm 127 pounds, and that all my jewelry was distracting and had me refilm the entire thing with no jewelry, in a t-shirt with the company's logo on it and a sweater. So I can't be sure who is the one who has the most issue. I get a review from the EA, and the sales and marketing manager. The reviews with the EA are the only ones that ever talk about how I dress. The 2 other managers I have reviews with are male. But with the comment about the jeans I was wearing, the EA said that a male higher-up thought they were inappropriate because they didn't have back pockets and my shirt didn't fully cover my butt but asked her to say something to me because he didn't want me to think he was looking at my butt. She didn't specify who said something. Update 1. First I just wanted to answer the question I was seeing a lot about why I haven't said anything to HR. Well, because the executive assistant is HR. We don't have an HR department. I really wanted to be prepared for this meeting. Since I am the youngest and I'm a bit of a pushover, I wanted to make sure I didn't get bulldozed over in this meeting. I printed out the section of THE handbook that explained the dress code, and when I got home yesterday, I changed into the last 4 outfits that I had worn that I was dinged for and took pictures, including the outfit that was half my stuff and half the stuff they bought me. This morning I went around and took a few pictures of my coworkers. I asked for consent, who were wearing ripped jeans, flip-flops, and graphic tees. These things are clearly prohibited per the handbook. I also brought with me a top that was bought for me, a blouse from Shine Bright Orange and Frilly, then wore a top that I bought for the job that was fairly similar, a blouse from H&M that was dark green. I asked if I could voice record the meeting so I would be able to refer back to the feedback. They said okay. They started off the meeting by telling me that it was inappropriate that I argued back yesterday and walked out. Some people were confused when I said I walked out. I didn't leave work, I just walked out of the office. I apologized for the arguing back but followed it up by saying I report to 4 different people and have many tasks throughout the day. You two know that Tuesdays are my busiest days and I was frustrated that I was being called away from my job duties to discuss my attire as I was in the middle of a very crucial tasks. They tried to swerve around that statement and just went into why they brought me in. They told me that they had made multiple attempts to get me to adhere to the dress code and that I had refused to comply. I told them that I had been trying to adhere to the dress code, pulled out the handbook, and read it out loud to them. I explained that I had been following the dress code as it is described in the handbook and asked if they could explicitly tell me what I had been doing wrong. I had bought different clothing. I had worn the clothing that they bought me and I dressed business casual even though the handbook says jean casual because I understand that being at the front desk means I should be dressing up a little more. They told me that the outfits I choose to wear are distracting. I pulled out the pictures I had taken of myself and asked them to explain in detail what was distracting about these outfits because I clearly didn't understand. Their response: the black pants with the white polka dots are inappropriate. In that outfit, I was wearing a white flowy top that fully covered my butt and had a high neckline with white flats. I asked them to elaborate. They said the pattern is distracting. I wrote down, no pattern pants in my notebook in front of them. The next outfit was a form-fitting black turtleneck, tucked in with a belt and cream dress pants. They said that the turtleneck was inappropriate because it was a tighter fit. I wrote down, no form-fitting tops. I then pulled out the picture of the outfit I wore, which included the heels they got me and the bootcut jeans with no back pockets. They said the pants were highly inappropriate since they accentuated my behind paired with the heels. I wrote, No heels paired with jeans. I was keeping my mouth shut still. I then pulled out the shirt that was bought for me. I said I'd like to know how this shirt that was bought for me and the shirt that I am wearing now are different and why one is preferred over the other. They said that the bright frilly one is more inviting and presents the message they want more than the one that I was wearing. The dark green is not inviting but the orange is. This was their reasoning for my silver versus gold jewelry question too. I then said, okay, I think I'm starting to understand. I pulled out the pictures of my coworkers. I asked, do you see how I would be confused when the rest of my coworkers dress like this every day? They said that the other coworkers are held to a different standard since they are in the back office. I just nodded. I replied, okay, I think I understand. So patterns are not okay unless they are bright loud colors and floral print? They nodded and smiled, and since I am in the front, I am expected to dress business casual / business professional. Not jean casual as described in the handbook. They smiled and nodded and said yes, we're happy to create a new handbook for you to refer back to. And then I said, and for the other outfits, it's not really about the items of clothing, it's about how my body looks in the clothes, and my body is the thing that is distracting everyone at work. Not the clothes. They sort of stammered a little bit and I said I really try hard to make you guys happy but I think it's inappropriate that this whole meeting was done, taking time out of everyone's day just to tell me that my body is being looked at in a way that is distracting people from their jobs. I am very uncomfortable and am feeling sexualized and harassed at this point. I understand that the dark colors and certain patterns aren't what you guys are looking for. But the other feedback you've given me is just about my body and how it looks. My compensation is not high enough for me to afford to buy any more clothing for this job. They told me that I was misunderstanding this whole meeting and that was not what they were saying at all. The clothing I wear is not inviting and not the message they want to put out. It has nothing to do with my body. They pride themselves in being an inclusive and safe workplace and would never intentionally make anyone feel sexualized, and they couldn't believe that I was interpreting this as harassment. They said that they felt like buying me clothes was a kind gesture to help me work on my professionalism, and they thought that I would have been more receptive of that. They also said that if I'd like, they can extend my hours so my compensation is raised. They said that they would be having another meeting with me about the new handbook and to look out on my calendar for it. I was so frustrated. I am an angry crier. I did not cry but I felt it brewing. I just smiled and nodded and asked if there was anything else they needed from me. They said no and I walked out of the office. I had so much more that I wanted to say, but I choked up and was upset I didn't say anything else. I am looking for a new job. I don't want to do this other meeting. I feel like it's not worth trying to fight it anymore. I guess I'll just wear the 4 outfits they got me every day until I find a new job. I feel a little defeated and have a sour taste from all of this, but can't afford to just quit. Now on to second story. Discovered my girlfriend faked a vacation this weekend, despite knowing it was cancelled for weeks. Now I suspect her loyalty. My girlfriend Amy and I went on our first date around 1.5 years ago, took things slowly while being exclusive, and have been officially dating 1 year. Overall the relationship has been pretty good, minus some small hiccups in communication that she chalks up to her neurodivergence. Amy isn't great with texting, which I thought was a red flag at first until I found out she's like that with almost everyone, most of her friends and family included. To give a little background, Amy and a few of her girlfriends go to this conference a few states over twice per year. It's a 2-day event, which they usually turn into a 5-day vacation because it requires a flight and hotel and is in a nice city. Amy's friend group is typically very active on social media during these trips, posting on their Instagram story during all points, flights, conference, beach, etc. This weekend was supposed to be their 3rd time attending. Amy and her friends have had their flights and hotels booked for a few months, confirmed by some of their posts on social media being excited about having everything booked. Unfortunately the conference was cancelled but they already booked everything, so they decided to still enjoy a vacation. My girlfriend and I had a date night last weekend. She was telling me how excited she was for her trip. All was good, but at the end of the date I caught a glimpse of Amy's phone. She was on her airline app and it looked like she was reading cancellation policies. We had a long day and I was tired and felt like I was snooping / being nosy, so I didn't say anything. During the week, I asked Amy to hang out the day before the flight, emphasizing that I wanted to see her before her trip. Unfortunately she was meeting up with her group of coworker friends, so she couldn't. No worries. The morning of her flight I texted her wishing her a safe flight and happy trip, and she liked my message. We haven't talked since. As I said, she's not a big texter so we usually don't text much besides planning dates and in emergencies. I figured she was on her trip so I haven't texted to plan a date. Now on to the meat of the issue. Amy is now supposed to be a few days into her trip and I noticed none of her friends were posting on Instagram. I thought that was weird because they usually post a lot, but I shrugged it off. That was until tonight. Amy started posting videos of her at a show. It looked fun and I didn't think twice about it. Until the ending, where the show host called out, "Thank you," and then the name of the major city nearby where we live, approximately 30-minute drive. I looked up the name of the show, and of course, it was in that nearby city this weekend. Meaning she wasn't on that vacation after all, and never thought to say anything to me about it. I did a little snooping on Venmo and found out that over 2 weeks ago Amy's friend paid her back the money that Amy had sent her for the hotel and car rental. So she's known the trip was cancelled for 2 weeks and hasn't said anything to me every time I brought it up. Where do I go from here? I feel like I'm suddenly spiraling, going crazy overthinking everything lately to see if I've missed any signs. I've already started assuming the worst and I'm panicking. I'm out of town for the weekend and I feel like this has totally thrown off my trip. Is this worth a conversation or is the relationship already over? Is there any reason she would have not said something by now? Even if she tells me the trip was cancelled right when I see her before I confront her, would that still justify not telling me until after the trip? Update 1. A few weeks back my girlfriend was supposed to go on a trip a few states away to go to a conference. I came to find out that the conference was cancelled and she didn't actually go, and never even bothered to tell me. She lied by omission about it by not telling me when I texted her to have a good flight. I found out she didn't go because her best friend posted a picture of them at a show in our local nearby city. So here we are, almost a month later. I was wrecked and spiraling these past few weeks, and after being together for almost 2 years I was too panicked to reach out and ask to see her. During the 3 weeks since her planned trip, she hasn't reached out once to me. That was until yesterday, when she casually reached out like we hadn't just ignored each other for 3 weeks and asked to see a movie. So I just finally saw her tonight. In the car I asked about her trip. Her facial response was really weird, like she got caught off guard. I'm guessing she was expecting me to forget about it after a few weeks of not seeing her. She just said it was okay, which instantly confirmed my suspicions. I asked her what she had done and she said she went to that conference one day, which as I said in my last post was cancelled, and went to a show after before returning home the day after I made my original post. I asked her which and she claimed the show that was in our local city. I was driving at the time and it was dark out, so I waited to confront her as I didn't want to get emotional and endanger us. I confronted her for lying about the trip, doubling down and lying about the conference, and tripling down to lie about the show. Her immediate response was to start deflecting, saying that if this is making me upset to imagine how she felt that her conference and trip was cancelled. She said how she was so heartbroken and upset that the conference was cancelled, which was cancelled 5 weeks ago, that she didn't want to talk about it. She kept saying that she doesn't owe it to me or anybody else to tell us about her business and what's going on in her life. I of course called her out for gaslighting me, to which her response was that she was not gaslighting me. Kind of ironic, I guess. When I talked about how it made me feel and that she damaged my trust for her, she again tried to belittle my feelings by rolling her eyes and saying that it was only a show. This conversation ended up opening to a much bigger issue in our relationship that I didn't mention in my last post. Generally, Amy treated me really poorly throughout the relationship. She was hot and cold, put zero effort into communication, and it never felt like she made a priority. She'd give me zero affection or compliments despite drooling and crushing over male celebrities all day. She's made little effort to connect me and her family and friends. We've talked about all of this a few times now. She would always say she was overwhelmed with some new excuse and promise it would get better. I would cave in and agree to work through things. As expected, things never got better. This time was the same, where she blamed a new job for being overwhelmed and that's why she's been so distant. But this time was different. I guess her blatant lie to my face and your guys' comments in the back of my mind gave me power to put my foot down. I broke up with her then and there. She kept begging me for one more chance, to think on it for a few days, that she cares about me and didn't intend to hurt me, all that nonsense. But the whole time I was the one bawling, and there wasn't a tear on her face. It really broke my heart ending things, but I've also really grown to hate myself for putting up with her treatment for so long. I'm hurting a lot right now, and I'm scared to get back into the dating world after 2 years of aging and some weight gain. I really loved her with every bit of my heart and I'm terrified to picture my life without her. I really want to call her up and give her one final chance to get things right, but I know I'd never forgive myself if she didn't change and broke my heart again.